Wedcon is back and live in the UK once again. And if you have attended one of our previous events, you'll know that Wedcon really is the UK's #1 event for wedding business owners of any age and size. After our last Wedcon, we are more than ready to get back into that room with you, hanging out with like-minded people and building invaluable relationships and business connections. So let me tell you why Wedcon this year is shaping up to be our best ever. This time round, Wedcon is all about discovering how to grow and engage your audience, attract qualified leads, consistently increase your monthly revenue, and boost your cash flow well into next year and beyond. Basically, over the day, you're going to learn the very best ways to grow your wedding business. And having started out and built my own multi-six-figure business, I realized that when it comes to building businesses, there are really a few things that stand head and shoulders above everything else in importance, and that is getting clients and customers, generating revenue and cash flow, growing your audience, and having a strong team and network around you. At Wedcon this year, you're going to be learning from a whole host of speakers who are already successfully using different techniques to grow their audience, turn them into raving fans, and have multi-six-figure businesses. So if you're a planner, DJ, florist, celebrant, or work in any other area of the wedding business, you are going to want to be at our one-of-a-kind event. Wedcon is going to be your home, and we can't wait to welcome you in November. For all the details on how you can secure a ticket and be in the room, head on over to the show notes and grab your ticket. We're really looking forward to seeing you on November the 15th in Kent. Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of the WebPro podcast. Both me and Roxy are here in the room, and we are talking money honey today. How are you, Roxy?
I'm fine, thank you very much. Oh, I love the subject of money.
Oh, good. We are making headways with kind of your mindset then, aren't we, on the subject? Because I think even going back sort of 12 months is a topic maybe you weren't so comfortable talking about.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. And I think a lot of people are in that campus kind of just bury our heads about money, just like muddle along, pretend like money's like fine. Yeah, don't look. I wasn't even comfortable looking in my bank all the time, but I've made headway. Yeah, I love money. Money comes to me in abundance.
Yeah, absolutely. But today what we wanted to specifically talk to you about is nobody's sharing or talking about kind of the bad times or what to do when things get tough inside your business. And we all go through it. I've been through it in my business. Many of us will remember COVID times as well, whereby we had to go back and look at things. And we're now going into a whole different set. And this year's been tough for the industry, another tough year for our industry this year, because we've had a big drop in engagements, because the relationships that would have been starting out would have been getting engaged by now. 2-3 years on from the pandemic, all of those new relationships that would have been started when we were allowed to mingle and meet people in clubs and all of that sort of stuff and go on dates, that wasn't happening. But we're coming out of the end of that now, and things are looking up. But today we wanted to talk to you specifically about things you can do when your business isn't making money. Now, one of the things that really surprises me, and actually I've been there in my business as well, is how many business owners actually don't understand their profit and loss, and if their business is actually making money. And I don't mean, yes, you're getting bookings in through the door. Actually, is your business making any profit at the end of the day? When you take away your costs, when you take away paying yourself a wage, when you take away the time it's taken you that you've spent on that booking, is your business making any money? And one of the things that kind of really sticks out in my mind, and when we do our books at the end of the month and we look at what the business has taken and we set goals for the month going forward, is revenue is vanity, profit is sanity and cash is king. So that's just something I like to remember, that it isn't about the revenue in through the door. Yes, obviously that's important, but if you're only looking at that in your business, you're pulling the wool over your eyes in terms of, is this a profitable business or not? Because if it's not a profitable business, if you're barely scraping by, or if you're actually losing money, it's an expensive hobby, it's not a business, and you need to put some steps in to change that. So we wanted to talk to you today about some things that you can do inside your business if bookings are slow, or if you're not making money inside your business, and some actionable things that you can come off the back of this podcast. And even if you are somebody that makes money, continue to listen, because there's always some things that you can pick up and learn.
Oh gosh, definitely, yeah. And I think on that point, we do see it a lot, don't we? We hear it a lot from the businesses that we work with, is that they aren't like tuned in to that part of their business, and that is the most vital part of business. And yes, it's scary to like look in the book, open the bank, but if the worst thing you can do running a business is to not have a grip on your numbers. And if you're someone that's sat there, oh gosh, like I don't know anything about this, start to learn, start to get that information, start to teach yourself, because how do you know if you're hitting those goals if you aren't looking at these kinds of things?
But also, you might have a tax bill that comes that you can't afford to pay, a VAT bill that comes that you can't afford to pay. I got into a situation with this in terms of our business that I wasn't putting money aside for that, and then that bill came, and my God, it was a lot.
Bit you in the ass.
It did, but this is why it's so critical to know your numbers. Are you close to being VAT registered? Are you close to needing to declare? Some businesses, very small businesses, might not even be at the point where they need to declare how much they're earning yet. Like I said, revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and we always like to know how much cash is in the bank, how much cash we've got. Maybe we'll deep dive, maybe we'll get Alexis in again to do another podcast, and we can deep dive some of the practical things people can do to really get to grips with their money in their bank. One of the things that we've really tried to do this year has been to like set up a business savings account, haven't we? So we take a percentage of everything that we earn and we pop that aside into a business savings account, and that's there to pay tax, that's there to pay VAT, there to pay any of those kind of bills that you know are coming inside your business, so that when January runs around and that tax bill comes, we're prepared for it.
We're ahead of it, aren't we then?
Taking steps throughout the year, that money is put aside, ready, and we don't have a shock when that comes, thinking, oh my God, how are we going to pay that? So yeah, today we're going to talk to you about the things that you can do when your wedding business isn't making any money. And although it's a tough topic to discuss, it's one that can be super helpful and important for those of you who might just be struggling this year to stay in business. And I think we've all been there. We've all been through kind of moments where bookings might be drying up. You're not, the kind of methods you've been using aren't working as effectively as they were. And especially a lot of us this year, for the reasons that we've already mentioned, might have found this kind of dip in engagements this year.
And I think first up, it is just worth saying that you are not alone if you are sitting in this area. It happens to every single one, whether you are a new business, whether you've been going for years, whether you are six figures or not. These things happen to all of us, but I think it's about how you move forward from that. The first thing that we want to talk to you about when it comes to what to do when maybe your wedding business isn't taking bookings or you aren't making money is to take a step back, to really think about and look from a bird's eye view about what's going on. I know this might sound a little bit counterintuitive and the opposite of what you think you should need to be doing, but when you give yourself some distance and space, you'll be able to make much better and wiser decisions as you move forward. Maybe take 1 or 2 days out of your business just to give yourself a bit of breathing space.
Yeah, and a bit of clarity as well. Like, you might find that you become a little bit more creative, or you might find some inspiration to try something new, or once you take yourself out of that kind of headspace of like panic mode, I'm not making money, I need to try everything, once you take yourself out of that space and let your mind relax almost, you're more likely to see things with a little bit more clarity, you're more likely to see things with a bit more focus, and also be able to just listen to your gut a little bit more. So take that step back out of your business, breathe, whatever it looks like for you, whether it's just a couple of days, whether it's a week, just take a little bit of time out for you. When you're in the rat race, sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees and you can't see like the things that are obvious in front of you, which kind of takes us to the second point, really. Once you've given yourself that kind of space, the next thing to do is just really evaluate your business. Like, you cannot make good decisions going forward if you don't have any idea of what could be going wrong. So what could be happening for you if you're not taking any money in your wedding business right now, or if bookings are drying up? It could be something that is really simple and easy to fix, or it might be a bit of a bigger problem or issue. So you need to just sit down, map it out, evaluate, do a little audit of your business, look at things such as your pricing. Is that on track? Is it speaking to your ideal client? Are your packages relevant? Does your branding need an upgrade? Is your branding speaking to your ideal client? Is your website up to date with images that would be fashionable to couples that are looking today? Quite a lot of the websites we sometimes look at with the clients that come to us haven't updated the images on their websites for like 3+ years, and this is going to be losing you bookings. Are you scheduling and posting out on your social media? Are you utilizing Pinterest? Are you blogging about past weddings and other relevant information that, you know, brides are searching for on Google? And then in the blogs, are you blogging? Are you using relevant keywords? It's really a good idea to just audit everything and answer these questions, really.
Yeah, and this is something, you know, that if you are struggling, can't see the wood for the trees with this, get somebody else on board to come and help you do it. I know that we do these for our one-to-one sessions that we do, but have you got a friend that you can rely on and say, look, I'm struggling a little bit right now. Can you cast your eyes over X, Y, and Z? And exactly what you said, Kate, there is that sometimes it can just be the little tweaks that can really make such a massive difference to getting those inquiries in.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And even in our own business, we find this, don't we?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're so focused on your clients, you're so focused on your couples, that it's usually something really obvious, and you're like, oh, like, why did I not think about doing that? And we've had it happen in our own business, and we coach and we teach this stuff where we're like, oh yeah, like that isn't quite adding up there. Why have we done that? That's silly. And it's because we're busy people. Like, we've got other priorities, the kids, or you think I'll come back to that another time when I'm not so busy, and you just forget. Yeah, map it all out. Ask yourself these questions. Are you following up? The proof is in the following up. Are you following up with your inquiries? Do you have a good structure around that? Do you have a good online presence? And I don't just mean with that like posting once a week. Like, big brands out there are posting every day, multiple times a day to the social media. And I'm not saying that you need to be posting multiple times a day, unless that's part of your strategy and you're wanting to really rapidly increase your followers. But you definitely need to be showing up at least 3 times a week, and probably daily on stories as well. And checking out as well, checking out who's following you on your stories, go and engaging in their stories so that there's a little bit of engagement between the two of you. Like, the people that are watching your stories over and over again are the cheerleaders of your brand, because of the way the algorithm works. Just think of all of the businesses that you follow, all of the pieces of content you follow, all of the personal people you follow in your life, but you'll see the stories of the same people over and over again. And it's because Instagram shoves the stories of the people that you watch the most at the front. So these people are your most primed to buy. So can you open up conversations with these people and open that avenue? Are you doing these things in your business? Are you getting any referrals from past brides or fellow wedding industry friends that you've got and people inside the industry? Are you doing any networking? Are you asking your past brides for any referrals, or have a good testimonial structure in place? These are the things you really need to be looking at. Like,
yeah, these are the things that you really need to be looking at, that quite often actually do get overlooked. It's so simple. We're working in our businesses all day, every day, spinning all those plates. So it's really easy for these things to get overlooked. But there's so many reasons and so many easily fixable reasons that it might be that you aren't currently hitting those money goals that you want to be hitting.
Yeah, other things to look at is, are you signed up to any wedding fairs? Are you doing any promotion about the wedding fairs? Have you got a system in place, such as a nurture sequence or something, to keep in touch with people from past wedding fairs that you've been to? Is your business getting featured in any magazines or other wedding blogs online? Are there blogs that you could reach out to and submit content for? Style shoots that you've been involved in? Do you want to look at going down ads and looking at an ads route? There's so much you can be doing before you just throw the towel in. So this next stage is just about evaluating what you are doing and auditing. Is it working? Is it working as effectively as I need it to work? And if it's not working, what are the obvious reasons why it's not working?
Even things like, you know, when your pricing is too cheap or too expensive, is that why the brides are not booking you? Have a look at your branding. Is it out of date? If it is, again, if it's not in line with your ideal client, you won't be getting bookings from that either. Website, is it accessible and inclusive to everybody? Is it easy to move through your website? Has it got the things on there that it needs to have? It's all about just looking at your business as if you were looking at your friend's business, because you can get a little bit lost when you think of it like it's my own business, too much pressure. Just take the emotion out of it and look at it from a fresh point of view. Also, if you are not as active as you should be on social media, how are you expected to be visible to those couples that you are wanting to book? It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, if you're not following up or you don't have an email nurture sequence inside your business, people aren't going to be reminded that your company is out there. And the same if you're not posting on social media regularly as well. And if you're not following up or reaching out to past clients, reaching out to inquiries, even in keeping in touch with your past couples, people will just think that you're not interested, and you definitely don't want that. It's the same if you're not using keywords on your website and things like this. So you just need to be auditing these things. Like, if you're not going to wedding fairs, if you're somebody that's, oh, wedding fairs don't work for me, I don't sit in that camp, because I think if you research the wedding fair, you know that this wedding fair is at a venue your ideal client would get married at, and you go to a decent wedding fair and there are couples in that room, right? It's not on the wedding fair organizer for you not to get booked. That's your sales process, and that's something that you are doing wrong in your business. And, you know, that is for you to sit and audit and look at that process. Is it the way that you're interacting with people? Are you sitting behind your desk and not really saying hello to anybody? Are you sat on your phone? Are you not putting as much effort into your stand? Are you not following up? Are you taking people's details? These sorts of things. Like, when people tell me that wedding fairs aren't working, it's usually that they're standing at the wrong type of wedding fairs for their ideal client, or they're going after a client and their branding doesn't add up. So when the client goes and checks them out, it doesn't even look like the same business. So I am a massive advocate for being at wedding fairs, showing up. Do your research, absolutely. I used to come with like questions to quiz like the wedding fair organisers, just to make sure that I wasn't wasting my time, wasting my Sunday, paying out on money that wasn't going to create a return for us.
Yeah.
You are in a room full of your ideal clients at a wedding fair in a venue that your client would be booking, and you aren't walking away with details, aren't walking away with meaningful conversations or bookings on the day. That's on you, not on the wedding fair organizer.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that actually goes for quite a lot of things. Like, social media is not working for me. Actually, when we strip it back, like, what is it about that's not working? Is it that actually you're not on the right social media platform where your ideal clients are hanging out? Is it that you're not posting the right kind of content, or you haven't got the right kind of strategy? There are lots of things that I hear and see when we work with wedding businesses that I think, okay, if you just look at it from a different point of view and strip it back, there are things you can always be doing to help yourself. What I would always say as well is that if you don't know where to start with any of this, maybe go back to your ideal client and have a look. Has your ideal client changed? Therefore, everything else is out of kilter, from your website to your socials, like everything relies and falls on your ideal client. So that's a good place to go and have a look at as well.
I think it isn't just about changing ideal clients. Sometimes people will change pricing. Quite often businesses will think, oh, I don't want to charge like low end pricing anymore. I've got 6 years of experience behind me. I've got all of these weddings behind me. But then they will change their pricing by 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 quid, £700, and they're almost hitting that more looks into the market. But then their branding doesn't add up anymore, or their website or something's a bit out of joints. These just things are the things that are just important across the board. Yeah. Are you in the online directories out there, on the free ones? We're not saying go and pay a load of money at this point in your business. If you're not making a lot of money, you're probably going to want to save a little bit. Now, we are also advocates for spending money. Like, when you spend money, you attract more. And if you don't invest in your business and you don't invest in yourself, you will subliminally pass that on to your clients. And it's happened to us time and time again, hasn't it? Yes, at the beginning of our business, there wasn't actually that much education out there when we were starting in our bridal shop. There wasn't that many coaches that we could afford. At the start of your business, I bet a lot of you, same as us, just try and find as much out for free as possible. But then there becomes a point where you plateau and you're not getting any more bookings, or you start to
attractions stop.
Yeah, the attraction starts, like all that excitement that you're new and you're fresh on the scene and you've got all this new perspective and these new ideas. That runs out at some point, and you'll do the same things that you've always done, and it won't gather the same momentum and it won't gather the same results. Or you might feel like you're struggling to come up with new ideas, or you just need a different perspective on things. You know, investing in marketing in your business, or investing in somebody that is skilled at that to do it for you, or just somebody to look over it and provide you with a plan to follow, will pay tenfold in your business. And we've always found, when we've invested in our business, that like magic, we start to attract the people that really value us, really value our service, are happy to pay the prices that we give them. And I think each and every time we've invested, actually, that's happened. And I think that is that thing, you can't expect people to invest in you if you're not investing in yourself. So yeah, that's just on that one as well. Like, a lot of these things we are telling you, you can go out and do for free, but if you are sat there, you've hit a plateau in your business, you've hit an income level, you've been here for a while now, or the things you're doing just aren't working the same anymore, or you're struggling to pull in money, you're struggling to pull in bookings, have a little look and spend some of that marketing budget that you put aside inside your business as well. It doesn't need to be loads and loads, is it? Like, it doesn't need to be loads. You can get a power hour or a strategy hour with somebody. I've seen them range from quite low to thousands and thousands of pounds, but it's just whatever you can afford, put into it. Or maybe it's ads or somebody to look over your SEO, and this will pay tenfold in your business going forward.
Yeah, at some point you have to level it up and get outside support. You cannot do it on your own at all. It is just not possible. And like Kate says, every time that we have
invested,
every time we have invested, like 100%, yes, it can feel a little bit like, okay, that's quite an outlay to begin with, but every time we have put the work in, learnt new things, and it's come back to reward us.
Yeah, even tenfold. Like, even if you're just investing time or in a book to learn how to SEO properly, or to come up with your own strategy, or to run your own ads, right the way to like up-to-date photographs for your website, these things are going to pay tenfold. Like, we're investing quite an expensive branding shoot over the next couple of weeks, but these are photographs that we know we'll be able to use for probably the next 3 years in our business. It makes sense for us to make that investment. But there are plenty of free ideas that we've given you here for you to be able to go through. But basically, if couples aren't being reminded that you exist, how are they going to find you? Think about where your brides are hanging out. What blogs are they reading? What online wedding directories are they looking at? What expos, bridal fairs do they go to? If you're not at these events or showing up in these places, how are you expecting people to find you? And then it's about after that, after you know that your visibility is up there, that you've got a regular content schedule, etc., it's then about making sure that your branding is on point, that your website is working effectively, that your photographs are up to date, that your messaging is right, that your pricing is right, and looking at these things. So yeah, our second point really is to just audit these areas in your business and look for gaps as to what you can do to fill those gaps, really. And if that involves spending some money, and you can see that you're going to get a return on your investment there, then spend the money rather than struggle on for years and years at this point, not growing. I wish that we'd invested earlier inside our business, for sure.
Same, absolutely, yeah. You just sometimes just got to bite that bullet, haven't you? And okay, got to do this if I'm going to get to where I want to be.
So the last thing to do, and wouldn't normally recommend this, but sometimes it needs must and you just need some quick cash into your business. Usually we would say, rather than discounting services or to add something into a package, but this final one is about running a special offer. So that doesn't actually need to be a discount, but could you run a special offer to just bring in some quick money into your business? If it's something that you need to do because you've got bills to pay at the end of the month, or, and we've done it, haven't we? We've ran quick sales, or if you buy your dress, you can get the bridesmaid dresses in for one weekend only. And it just gets those people who are on the fence over the line and get some quick cash injections. We wouldn't be saying discounts, we wouldn't be saying 50% off and things like that. And this is because it, number one, cheapens your brand, and number two, people will just think, I'll wait until she runs another sale in 3 months, 6 months, and get it cheaper. And also as well, there is nothing worse as a client to hear that somebody else has had the exact same service from you or the exact same product from you cheaper. It just doesn't instill trust and doesn't instill that kind of relationship you want with your client. So could you think about running some sort of special offer where you add something into a package just to get some quick cash inside your business?
Another great tip on this point as well is we've all got those people sat in our inboxes or emails that were interested in our service but didn't have the budget there. Could you go back to them and say, oh, actually, we're running a special offer now. Would this be of interest to you? Go and hunt those people out, because you'll be surprised, actually. They might be like, oh, actually.
Yeah, this is why it's so important to be building an audience, for example, in your email list, but also just to be following up with people so that you can just be like, oh, hey, I know you weren't ready to book the last time we spoke, but I was just wondering, do you need any assistance with your wedding now? How's the wedding planning going, etc. And just open up those conversations again. People inside this industry go through 2 different phases. So they go through like the research phase where they're researching you, they're taking in all the information, they're maybe talking to 4 or 5 different planners, they're talking to 8 or 9 different photographers, they're looking at 10 different venues, and then they whittle that process down and they come to a stage where they understand how much it's going to cost them to book you. They've done all the research, they know the venue they're getting married at, they know how many people are coming to their wedding now, and they're then enter the buying stage. So it might just be that people have come across you or they've opened up a conversation with you and they weren't ready to book. That doesn't mean it's a no for forever. And we would just encourage you, like, we have a sheet. You can do this in Google Sheets, you can do it in Google Docs, anywhere you want, Excel, and just have a list of leads and just go back. And this is what we see, actually, the 6-figure business owners, and I want to do a podcast on this, actually. I might do a podcast on this next week. The things the 6-figure business owners do, this one, it definitely is up there, is that they're tracking leads and they're going back and speaking to people who didn't convert. And that's just something you can do as well inside your business.
Actually, since we've been doing that, we have had sales through doing that directly. And we would do this in the bridal shop as well. If a bride had come in, try a dress on and wasn't sure, we would then follow up again just to see whether she wanted to come back in, try dresses back on, or just to let her know. We used to track what styles the brides liked that came in to try on but then didn't go on to buy with us first time. We would ring them and say, oh, had this dress in, it's got this and this, and we really thought you might like it. Without doing that, we wouldn't have got that bride back in and then have a chance at another sale. So definitely do this, and don't be scared to do it either. There's nothing wrong with reaching back out. You just got to do it in a way that is in keeping with how you would talk.
Yeah, it's about being helpful and saying, I know that we had a conversation before, just wondering where you're at with your wedding planning. Is there anything else I can do to assist you at this time? Or we've had some new stock in now, or have you seen that I've brought out this range? Really thought of you. I know that you weren't in a position to book me last time, but we've brought out this and you absolutely sprung to mind. And it's just about opening up conversations with people. If you're stressed about your business or worried about taking your business any further, or worried because your business has stopped getting bookings or taking money, the last thing that we would recommend is, and we've touched upon this already, is getting a business mentor of some kind or taking a course of some kind. It doesn't need to be expensive at all. And the thing about having a business mentor or somebody to look over what it is that you're doing is that, like, they can spot gaps really quickly. So when you're in it and you're working, sometimes you can be going down a rabbit hole and the problem isn't even there. But you can be going down that rabbit hole trying to fix what you think is the problem, and it's not quite that. So having somebody else's eyes on it, or just doing a course to learn, okay, how do I define my ideal client? How do I advertise properly on social media? How do I SEO my website or find the keywords out for my website? And just investing in something like that. You can check out working with us if you want to work with us. We work with a variety of wedding businesses, from people that have not ever taken any bookings before, right the way up to people that are earning 6 figures and beyond, and help them to achieve the goals they want inside their business. You can find out more about that by heading over to our website. But even if you just get a book or listen to a podcast or invest in a small course, whatever it is, we would definitely recommend doing that, because you can't know everything. And we're the first to say we don't know everything about everything, do we? But when we don't, that's where we invest. So we have business coaches as well. We invest quite heavily in business coaches.
And we say coaches now because there is more than one.
Yeah, we do this to spot gaps in our own business, don't we? Or to give us ideas that we wouldn't have thought about. Because, and even I've been in business kind of 15 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no. Even things that are like, oh yeah, why didn't I think of that? Oh, that seems so simple.
Even just sometimes just to nudge you, like, you know what you need to do, but it's scary. So just to nudge you in that right direction.
All that accountability as well. Because sometimes definitely we can find ourselves doing things that aren't really moving our business on. It's probably more affordable than you think it is. So definitely check that out. It definitely is with us. Lots of people say to us, oh, I thought you'd be a little bit more money.
Reach out. Let's have a chat. If anything that you've heard today is resonating and you think, oh gosh, I don't know where to start this, just drop us an email. I will pop some information in the show notes so you can know how to get hold of us. We are here and we do this for you. So if we can help support you, we flip him. I nearly swore then, but
yeah, and it's always judgment free as well, isn't it?
Oh, so definitely,
yeah, absolutely judgment free. Everything's confidential. I think what we'll do is when we come back to our next pod, we'll be coming into kind of July time. So we'll be looking at middle of the year. So we'll be taking account and maybe looking at business goals for the rest of the year, keeping you on track. And I think another one that we could do, which would be quite nice as well, is we've been coaching for a while now inside of our business, and maybe giving listeners a plan of what the successful businesses are doing inside their businesses. I think they would be some good topics.
Yeah.
So we will see you on a podcast really soon to talk about those. If you have liked this podcast, feel free to give it a share over on Instagram, tag us in it at the Wedding Business Hub. Make sure that you're inside of our group, the Wedding Business Hub, as well. We've got some exciting things happening, some changes happening in the next few weeks. We're keeping quite stum about them. We're not making a big song and dance about it, are we? But
we're making a little song and dance.
We're making a little one now. We're leveling up in some ways, so keep your eyes peeled for some new things that you'll be seeing from us over the next week.
Spot anything.
See if you can spot some signs of what might be coming. I think there's a few little signs here and there, isn't there?
There is, yes, there is.
And yeah, as ever, if you want to reach out to us, you can send us a DM on Instagram, or you can hop into our Facebook group, The Wedding Business Hub, and let us know the topics you want us to cover or any questions that you've got. Wonderful rest of your week, everybody. Hope the sunshine comes back out and you can enjoy a little bit of the nicer weather.
We will see you all very soon. Take care. Bye.